For almost 2 years, India has been locked in a border conflict, a border standoff rather, with China. It is mounting new military threats now. And these threats go well beyond India's land borders with China. Beijing is targeting the high seas. It is equipping Pakistan's navy with advanced warships. And they did not shy away from spelling out what these frigates were for. Pakistan says it is modernizing its navy to quote-unquote redress a conventional imbalance with India. That's what they're trying to fix, the imbalance with India. Needless to say, China is happy to help Pakistan in this. And it's not just giving frigates, but also equipping the Pakistan Navy with submarines. It is clear now. The high seas could be the next frontier for war. The world we live in depends heavily on shipping routes. And if you're an export-driven economy like China, you need presence in the high seas. But China's sharing of military hardware is a sinister move. China wants to militarize the seas, especially the waters around India. And it's not just Pakistan that is getting these Chinese submarines. China has also transferred technology to two other Indian neighbors, Myanmar and Bangladesh. 3 Indian neighbors now have Chinese submarines: Pakistan, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. Suddenly, India's backyard, India's neighborhood, is looking far more dangerous. By sharing advanced weapons, China is basically recruiting more allies. It is trying to shift the regional balance so that when the time comes, it can control the Indian Ocean and the Bay of Bengal. The Chinese economy depends on these waters. Around 80% of China's oil is transported, or imported rather, through these sea routes, the Indian Ocean and the Malacca Strait. China doesn't control either, but it's working on it. India needs deft diplomacy. Unlike China's dead diplomacy, we need deft diplomacy to neutralize this growing threat. How India engages with its neighbors could very well decide how this battle for influence will shape up.
But in recent weeks, we've seen tensions reignited over Moscow's troop deployment near Ukraine's border. Russian President Vladimir Putin really putting the pressure on the US for some form of security guarantees that would stop NATO expanding east to Ukraine, which President Putin views as an effort by the West to encircle Russia.
NATO and Ukraine have so far insisted they will not be swayed by Moscow's threats, adding NATO membership is open to any qualifying nation, including Ukraine. So where does this situation leave us, and could the tensions bubble over into something more serious?
So we've got NATO and US on one side, Russia on the other. It appears very unlikely that either are going to budge publicly on their demands. But we have this upcoming meeting in Geneva between the US and Russia. Presumably the top diplomats from both sides, Lavrov and Blinken, are going to be there. A lot of eyes are going to be focused on that due to this crisis. Do you have much hope?
So I have every confidence that the communication is very, very good, and I think there's a very good chance it will cool down for now. But that's just for 2021, early 2022. It doesn't mean that Putin will forget about the Ukraine. His security interests are the same. So he's going to wait, I think, until Biden appears even weaker to get what he wants. Perhaps he'll wait till after the midterm elections in November of next year.
Tensions between the United States and China have flared again over Taiwan. Just a week after the Xi-Biden summit, a U.S. warship has sailed through the Taiwan Strait. Beijing has been quick to react, sending a warning to Washington. The patrol was the first through the area since the two presidents sat down to talk. Olivia, how severe is the warning from China?
Well, these are certainly stern words from Beijing, not unusual, but significant given its timing. And we've seen the Chinese military in a statement say that sending a U.S. warship through the Taiwan Strait was a threat to regional peace and stability, adding that the Chinese military closely tracked this vessel, the military also vowing to do take whatever necessary measures to counter provocations. And so this latest move is being viewed as the U.S. going back on its commitment. And even though this meeting was meant to have dialed down tensions between the two countries, observers say it's clear that both sides still remain far apart on many sticking points, including over Taiwan. And so it's likely that tensions in this area are unlikely to die down anytime soon.